How are you? I've always loved the English idiom, I'm there for you. I like it because for two reasons. The first is that like it implies both support and arrival. Like he got there in the end, So like the there means like someone, they actually showed up. It's like they crossed a finish line. There's something really beautiful about it. And I also think that it relates to the Hebrew, which is slightly different, right? Which is when you want to express that kind of support, especially in the Torah, you don't say I'm there for you. You say in Hebrew, hineni, which means I'm here for you. So here or there, everywhere or everywhere. And I've been wondering about a question which has really sort of occupied me. It's been roaming off the inside of my skull for a while now, which is where is Adat Shalom? Past couple of months have been pretty brutal, geopolitically and otherwise. And they've also been hard for the community. We've had a number of losses and people who've been sick and a few surgeries, really serious ones, since we've been here. And so the summer it's been a lot. Hard to be a Jew, hard to be a Washingtonian, hard to be a human being. And so the question that I have is sort of, well, where is Adat Shalom on issues great and small? On the weighty matters that we carry with us even when we don't want to? On the matters of care that sort of inhabit the corners of our community that are sometimes seen and sometimes not seen, the way that we reach out one to another, the way that we join our voices together? Where is Adat Shalom? I've been here a year today. Wait till I finish tonight and you'll see whether or not you want to care. And I have eyes to see and I have ears to hear. And so I think there's actually an answer, maybe even a one-word answer to that question, where is Adat Shalom, that I want to share with you. But the caveat that I have to give is that you have to understand that as I speak, there's a way in which I can only speak from the boundaries of my own perspective. There are things that I do not see and words that I do not hear and just situations that I do not understand. And yet, I've been here for a minute now. And I've been a rabbi for more than a minute now. And I hope that what I have to say is valuable and meaningful to you in a way that I think hopes maybe to answer the question of where is Adat Shalom, or to shift in some ways the perspective, I think, that sometimes happens within Jewish communities. And what I have found is that when it comes to Adat Shalom, it's not perfect. It's not like 100%. It's not, always doing what it's 100% supposed to. But for the most part, Adat Shalom is the kind of place that's there for people. And so when I think of Adat Shalom, the word that comes to mind is there. I don't want to be trite and say there for you, but maybe that's the tagline we put on the new website. I don't know. But I think that there's something about this community that is there, that is present, in a degree that I don't always experience. About a month ago, it was outside and it was raining. It was also about hotter than the surface of the sun. And a bunch of Adat Shalomers were outside of the White House with those horrible new gates that have been put up to keep the people from the people's house. And you know what they were there for? They were there to demand the release of the hostages, and they were there to demand the end to starvation in Gaza, and they were there to tell Netanyahu what's for, and they were there to do the particularly Jewish thing of both supporting and criticizing Israel at the same moment. It's like an expertise of ours. And the reason I know that they were there was I was there with them. And a month before that, a few weeks before that, do you remember when you were there, when Danielle Gelbaum, remember who she is? Survivor of the Nova massacre? She was here and you were there. A few weeks before, from Nimrod Cohen's family. Nimrod is still in captivity. You were there. Sue died last week. And in the funeral, you were there for George. And then also for Michelle, who lives out in Oakton, Virginia. God bless you, Michelle. It's an hour from here, and yet Adat Shalom was there. Last week from the Bima, I got up on the Bima, and I said, starvation can never be used as a tool of warfare or diplomacy. It's wrong. And you were there, and you didn't fire me. Do you know how many synagogues I would have been instantly fired from? And then a few weeks before that, I got up and I said, I want to bless the state of Israel. And you were there too, and you didn't fire me either. The truth is that there's a quality of this place in which people here are obsessed with the place. It's a little meshugana, I'm not going to lie. But it's also beautiful. Because my experience of you is that you were there. I'm proud of you. I'm proud to be one of you. But I know that for many people in their hearts right now is a deep frustration. The latest frustration, I think, has to do with what's happening in Gaza. And there are many, many people in the community who are sort of asking, where is Adat Shalom? Why hasn't the community spoken out with one voice on the issue? This week, by the way, a tremendously beautiful email came out from the rabbis of Temple Sinai. How many rabbis are there? 15, 16 rabbis? Something like that? I think it's 3. From John Roos and Hannah Goldstein, and I actually don't know the third. And I have to tell you, as a rabbi, I had nothing but admiration for what they wrote. It takes a measure of doing to send a letter like that out as a rabbi. Trust me, they're paying for it. By the way, anything that you send out these days, you pay for. You know how it is, right? But there was love and empathy and moral courage in that letter. And one of the things that I think that happened as a result of that letter, which was something very Adat Shalom, which was, we want one of those, and why didn't we have it first? Is that fair, by the way? I just want to tell you, it's not about that letter. I think if there's something in which there's something uplifting or inspiring being done in the Jewish community, I always get an email. Why aren't we part of this? Because we as a community want to be there. Now, there are 2 reasons why you haven't gotten an email from Adat Shalom. And the first is that the community has been doing a lot of living and a lot of dying in the past 2 or 3 weeks. 3 shivas that I can count, 2 hospitals. We have a family that has a very young child who just had brain surgery. And let me tell you something, you were there. I saw the sign-up geniuses. I saw the meal trains that we sent out. I saw the meals of condolences, and I saw the letters, and Adat Shalom was there. But until we get more rabbis, we can't be more both there and there at the same time, if you know what I mean. And so part of it is that, well, we had important holy work to do. And that's what we were there for. But the other part of it is this, is that the reason we can't speak about with one voice about Israel and the Palestinians, about Gaza, about the West Bank, is because you don't agree with each other. And we aren't there yet. One of my deep commitments to you is not to declare agreement where there is none, nor to broadcast consensus where largely consensus does not exist. Please do not use this against me, because there's always somebody, you know. Why do the Jews disagree? I'm just going to wait until thanks. It does not track with my experience of the Jewish people. To think that the Jews are able to speak with one voice on almost anything. What we did with the community meeting, where, by the way, 250 of you were there for both meetings, and I see Don in the audit, you know, in the Kahal tonight, in the community tonight, and the organizers who were there making it happen, was a rare moment in which we had clarity about who we need to be and how we need to respond. And I'm just going to say out loud, we aren't quite there. And that, by the way, is something that I have deep respect for, that I think is right and true. Look, the situation may be present, but may not be clear. It might demand all of our attention, but it's not simple. And I'm not 100% sure as a human being, 100% where we should go. And if that is a failing, I take that upon myself and apologize to you for my lack of chazon, for my lack of vision. But my promise to you is that when we broadcast things at the community, it will be when there is clarity about the direction that we're headed. Having said that, where is Adat Shalom on Gaza? The only thing I don't understand is how people can say, why is there silence when all I hear is the thunder? I hear you. I hear your voices. I see your feet. I know where you go to protest, and often I'm there too. Look, Aaron and Rabbi Sid got arrested this week in Congress, which is a pastime that I have occasion to enjoy myself once or twice. You live your consciences. You live out your values. And it's something that is incredibly wonderful. And yet I think there's a process that we're going to have to go through as a community to figure out where we ought to be. It's not that people disagree that starving, hungry people is wrong. It's not that people disagree that people should be able to live in safety and security. But you know what it's like to receive a message about Israel or the Palestinians. How high does your blood pressure jump? And how often do you look at the words and say, I wish you had said something different? Please tell me you know what I'm talking about. So for me, the question is not where is Adat Shalom. I know where you are. I respect where you are. For me, the question is not ayeka, it's echa. It's how. How do we get out of this? How did we get here? How did we allow this world to turn into what it is? This is not a genial moment in the history of humankind. How, with all of our love and our passion, how did we get here? How do we allow so many to suffer? And most importantly, how as we as a community can we move through it and push forward and fight back? I will never stop. I will never give up. You should ask my wife. I'm a lot. And so on one hand, I want to say, I'm sorry we're not there. Because I know that it's very gratifying to hear from your community what you think needs to be said. The only problem is half the community disagrees with the other half about what needs to be said. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with us. It means that if there's anything wrong with us, it's this. It's that we have to unplug our ears and even maybe stop or off our mouths for a moment to listen to other people in the community so that we can find the places where we overlap in terms of principle and goodness and courageous fight for the future. It's a process that I would like to go through with you. It's one that I will reach for with you so that we can get where we ought to be. And we can figure out how we have to move forward. I know that so many of you were hoping that I would stand up or that the office would send out an email and it would say exactly what you needed to hear in this moment. I'm sorry I can't do it. But my promise to you is that I will always be there to work this through with you, to fight it through with you, to push it through with you, until a bunch of people who by their very genetic and religious heritage disagree with each other get there. Shabbat Shalom.